3, 2, 1, and we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, where I read to you headlines from my news feed and share with you some of my thoughts, ideas, and perspectives on those headlines. Peace, right? It's not news, it's just my notes on the news. We're trying to get a general overview of what's going on in the world. We're not going real in depth on most of the articles. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. I think I said everything I need to say. All right, let us see what the daily words of the Buddha are for today. Do you have anything new or good to share? Go on and comment. Share it. That's the assignment. Come in with something new and good, and go out with something that you're looking forward to. Let's you gonna spread the love? Spread some love? No? Okay, hold on one second. You think about it. Irrigators regulate the rivers. Fletchers straighten the arrow shaft. Carpenters shape the wood. The wise control themselves. I don't know what an irrigator is. I guess that's somebody who regulates the river. And I guess a Fletcher is someone who straightens the arrow shaft. So basically, just manage yourself. Manage your business. That's what the wise do. The wise control themselves. So how are you controlling yourself today? How are you managing yourself today? Even if you don't have anything that you can, hey, Mary Jane, even if you don't have anything specific, start thinking about the breath that you just breathed in. That's new. That's good, right? That's keeping you alive, keeping you conscious, all of that other good stuff. All right. Thank you for the likes. When you come in, go on and drop a like. Peace, Mary Jane, especially if you're watching on playback. Just go on and drop that like. That's like, the gift when you come to visit. You coming in, you visiting, you hanging out in my space for a little while. Share a like. It don't cost you nothing. It's not like you had to bake me a sweet potato pie or even go buy me a slice from Karen Dye. You just had to hit the like button. Thumbs up. All right. Now, y'all never knew about before there was a fruit fly that would be over here. I was listening to somebody's video and she's like, I have a fruit fly because there's a banana peel or something. I'm like, I had a fruit fly in my little studio area forever and there is no food over here. So we had that fly. Y'all remember that day when the fly was terrorized? It might have been two. It was at least one good day when the fly was terrorized. That was a moth. I saw it also. Right, that was, the fly was like, it was all loud. And then you saw the fruit fly? The fruit fly was here for about 5 or 6 days. And I come in and I try to fan the area out in advance, like gone. I don't know. Over 2,000 U.S. schools walk out over gun violence. So I guess this is like the anniversary of Columbine, or one of the anniversaries of Columbine. Has it been 20 years since Columbine? I'm not really clear. But I think that the young people, the students were, use the anniversary of that day as a I think they're just using it as an organizing strategy, and they doing some hella good organizing. Thank you for the like. Okay, Frida Kahlo Barbie doll banned from shop shelves in Mexico. I was like, a Frida Kahlo Barbie doll? Hey, Frank G. Is it banned because it's like some capitalist BS and they like Frida Kahlo wouldn't be for that? But no, in the first page of the thing, it said that it was banned because, it said it was banned. I don't think I got it. It said it was banned because she was too light-skinned. They like Frida Kahlo was darker than that. Is it Kahlo? The artist with the unibrow who was married to an artist. What was her artist's name? He's more famous than her in some circles, but she's more famous to me. I can't remember her husband's name, but she was. But yeah, with the unibrow. And she had been in an accident. So I think she walked with a limp. She had a really interesting, and I didn't, now her work is not work that I like. I like the idea of her art. Hey, Information Man Show. I like the idea of her art, but her art, like, I would not put her work on the wall. Like, it would stress me out. It would freak me out. I would not like to live with it. But that's just me, but it's very interesting. Okay. And yeah, I'm well. I'm a little tired, but, yeah, I ain't really that tired, but I mean, it's been a long day, a long few days. Oprah being sued for reportedly stealing show idea for Greenleaf. This about the third time it came across my feed. I ain't want to say nothing about it because I like the show and I just don't even want to entertain the idea. But I guess I gotta just say it. I don't know. They say that they pitched the idea to the OWN network. Because at first I was kind of like, well, shoot. I love that show too. At first I was kind of like, well, shoot. I mean, a show about a mega church family, that ain't no original idea, is it? But when your stream is over, come over to the information. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. So is it starting at a particular time, or is it like we going to do like a strolling party? Like we going to leave here and stroll over to the Information Man show? Do you put up replays of your videos? Because even if it, of course, brother. So even if it is simultaneous or overlaps, if you're watching this on replay, you can go catch that replay as well. Are you interviewing somebody today? Oh, okay. Are you interviewing someone today? Is there something featured on the show? Is there a theme for the show? Essence Magazine editor-in-chief steps down. Hey, Love Like the Sun, you right at the very beginning. We've only done like 2 or 3 stories and they ain't nothing. So Essence, so Shea Moist, the person who bought Essence owns like a cosmetics company. And I don't know if it's Shea Moisture, but it's black owned. So I thought Shea Moisture was not black owned, but maybe they are black owned, but just, I don't know what the deal is. But the editor-in-chief stepped down. So I don't know if this is the editor-in-chief that was hired when the company was not black owned. And now that they black owned, they trying to, take some different directions but anyway. That's what's going on. I don't know how long it's been. When I was a child, we used to get Essence magazine. I used to read Essence. I don't remember. It seemed like my grandparents used to read Ebony and Jet. Like, it seemed like as a child, I remember seeing Ebony and Jet there. But, my mama had Essence magazine. And that was like, ooh. I remember one day, well, not one day, but like for one of my college papers, I went through Essence magazine and just looked at all of the images and tried to look at women with straight hair, women who appeared to have like tightly curled hair, women who had good hair or loosely curled hair. I was just doing like some analysis, and it was like most of the people had straight hair. At that time, there weren't very many, natural hair women unless they had, loosely curled hair. And there wasn't very many of them. So, yeah, Essence magazine. Tori Hart. I saw Tori Hart on, I didn't see the whole interview. I think it was on Sister Circle. Did she get surgery? Because if she didn't get surgery, I had no idea. She was like, pa-pow, pa-pow. And then it was like a picture of her from behind. I'm like, she's very voluptuous. I don't know if she's always been like that. I never thought of her as thin. I thought of her as thick. Tori Hart. She was married to that Hart, the comedian. And he left her for the light-skinned more woman. And there's like all kinds of drama and stuff around that because the woman, his new wife, who he cheated on while she was pregnant, I think. Hey, S. Wiseman. He said that I think somebody was joking and calling her McRib. So I missed the illusion, but maybe he said she was his rib or his McRib or something. And why would he cheat on her? Because she a perfect, wonderful woman, unlike that dark Tori Hart. Tori Hart ain't really that dark. But anyway, so then when the child was pregnant, I think he got caught. I think he did. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't proved. Maybe it's allegedly. Shoot, I don't know. But I know when I saw that child on whatever it was, I was like, I've seen her in interviews before. Maybe it was the dress, but I was like, okay, body. I was like, okay. I did not know. Yeah. Oh, so Tori Hart says if men were more open about their side chicks, women would be okay with it, which I thought was really, really interesting because I agree with that 100%. Not to say that I would be okay with being in that type of relationship. I don't know. But I do think that it's like a really weak butted person who's grown and cannot be a grown person and say, I'm doing what I want to do and this is what I want to do, and you can rock with me or not rock with me. If we can rock together, and if not, oh well. Why are you sneaking around and lying and you grown? That's the part I just can't appreciate and respect. And I feel like I want to respect you even if I don't agree with you or even if we can't rock that way. Why are you being like, I can't stand grown people who aren't just who they are? Just be you. So I agree with that. And I think that a lot of women would just be like, you know, because a lot of them are anyway. You know, he cheated, they take him back, he cheated. But I just feel like just be open about it. Why you got to cheat? Just be like, you know, I want to have an open relationship. You'll find the people who are for you. Okay, Jackie Robinson's daughter explains why Black baseball players are reluctant to speak out about racism. So her theory is that it's because there are fewer, why cheat and lie? There are plenty of women who would go along with a wandering man. And if you're telling the truth, are you wandering? Then you don't even have to be a wandering man. You could just be, I know it's one group. I can't call them a couple. Well, I don't know, but it's some people here that I know who is a man, and I know he had at least 2 wives, and they would they coordinate. Now, one of the women has made her transition, but they've been together for years. They coordinate how they dress. You know, in some circles, they're very, very highly respected. The woman who made her transition was like very well loved, and it's like the people just know that's how they, you know, and I feel like if you like it, I love it. Now, I would always, whenever I'm around, I always kind of like, I'm like looking like, oh, you know, but yeah. So her theory about to each his own, exactly. If it's consenting adults, I had a date with a man and he straight up told me he wanted a harem. I'm not the one, but I respected his honesty. Right. That's how, exactly. I love to respect somebody. So there are fewer Black baseball players. So the ones who do play baseball don't want to speak out. That's Jackie Robinson's daughter's theory about why, you know, the Black baseball players don't speak out. And it kind of surprised me because I'm like, well, I don't really get the impression, and I could be wrong because I don't really follow sports like that. But like, do a lot of other athletes speak out? Like the last boxer I heard of speaking out was Muhammad Ali. But are there other people who speak out about stuff? You know, it seemed like in football, there's a few people. You know, we know the one brother's name, but it's another one who we've seen in the picture with him, Colin Kaepernick, and this one that's, you know, LeBron. But I mean, it seemed like for it to be so many, it seemed like, especially like the impression I get about like football or basketball is that if the Black folks was like, no, no, they wouldn't have a league. If the Black folks were like, no, we standing for Black folks, they could just shut it down. But it's only so I didn't even realize, you know, but yeah. 911 operator sentenced for hanging up on thousands of emergency. Right. Yeah. And I mean, we were talking about this college coach, they come out of their mouth. I mean, I guess all of these people, athletes, non-athletes. And that's what I was thinking about today when I was getting trained by the Children's Defense Fund. And I was thinking about the fact that they were like, whether you work directly in youth development or not, you can still be an advocate. You still must be an advocate for young people. If you are a dentist, you must be an advocate for young people. If you are a lawyer, you must be an advocate for young people. If you are an accountant, you must be an advocate for young people. And I feel like, you know, it just kind of occurred to me today that like the white supremacists are like, you know, or whatever you want to call them, whatever I want to call them. But LeBron speaks out about a whole bunch of issues. Yeah, I see his name in the news. But that's like one person. I'm just saying it seems like, it's probably, can we count, like, how many men are there in the basketball league? How many of them are black? Now, how many of them speak up? It just seems like it's a small percentage to me. Hey, the underrated darkness. That little talk today was interesting. I never even heard of the guy. He was talking about labor stuff. I was like, yes, go labor. But I came in late, so I don't know what I missed. But I'm just curious. I mean, it might be a large percentage of athletes that are speaking out. And I'm just not aware because, some people, like, Colin Kaepernick gets a bunch of attention, but that doesn't mean he's the only one, because I had always been wondering, well, who was that guy next to him? And, but anyway. So 911 operator sentenced for hanging up on thousands of emergency mods in chat. Is that like, hey, what's up, mods in chat? Sentence for hanging up, this is not funny, for hanging up on emergency callers, on thousands of emergency calls. So I guess my first question is, how is, like, there's no monitoring, there's no supervision? Like, how you gonna, did you hang up on thousands of calls in one day? Was it over a week? What period of time are we talking about that this person was out here hanging up on emergency calls? Because it just seems like, how did that happen? I don't understand. LeBron can't because they can't afford to lose him. Plus, LeBron and the other players talk about stuff only once it hits the news. They know about the stuff that goes on before it's public. Yeah. I guess whether you're an athlete or not athlete, like I remember when I was a student, it was kind of like, it was almost like the black athletes, for the most part, it was like almost like they were separated from the black students because they had to live with the other athletes. They had to exercise with the other athletes. They ate with the other athletes. They had study hours with the other athletes. Like, it seemed like there was really like an insular community for the athletes that, there were a couple of folks who were involved with the Black Student Organization, but it seemed like it was almost like you had to like work hard and really, really fight to do that. And then their scholarships were tied to that, as I understand it. Like, you couldn't be like, well, forget it. I'm going to the Black Student Organization tonight, because they'd be like, no, you got study hall with us, bro, or whatever. I don't know. But, okay, so if LeBron were a freshman pro athlete, I don't think he'd speak up. Wait till you get established. Yeah. I guess what they're doing with Cap is, it's kind of like, it's like breaking a union, or like breaking, like it's kind of like you let people know, look, to the left, what's that song? You think you irreplaceable? You're not irreplaceable. Is that the same song? It might be two different songs, but they telling LeBron, go on to the left because you're not irreplaceable. We can get another one like you in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, we don't care nothing about your politics. And if they start caring, then that's going, like, what they say, the inmates are going to be running the prison, so like, but I feel like if enough people, but I guess that's the thing, it's never going to be everybody who does anything. So whatever. So 911 operator hanging up on people. So where's the supervision? I'm very confused about that. And then I'm also confused about, I would think that if you went into the business of 911, it's just some athletes, women and men, and oh no, you retracted it. I could read it. Dang. Now, I do love LeBron and all our athletes and all that they do when they can do it. Well, yeah, okay, that's cool. I'll tell y'all honestly, and I know a lot of people get annoyed with me for this. I feel a lot of compassion for Black people. And like, I'm not like one who's like, you need to do this. And I feel like everybody is out here really trying to do the best that they can. And I think that some are afraid to speak. Some have been trained not to speak. Some are, like, especially when you come from poverty or when you come from not having a lot, you may be concerned, like, I just feel like people out here doing the best they can. So I just really respect, and appreciate, anybody who, has the courage and the whatever, to speak on our behalf, because it's like, it's treacherous. It can seem treacherous out here. Sometimes, like, I know guys will say stuff like good guys never win. But, sometimes, like, I feel like, especially like when Zero was like getting elected and stuff, I was like, dang, I just kept saying it, and I had to stop myself. But it was like, I was just like, he stayed winning. And I kept wanting him to lose. And it was like, he just stayed winning. And sometimes it seemed like, the BS just stayed winning, So I feel like anybody who can, like, be bold enough to be like, in our community, men and women that are athletes are scared to talk up. And a lot of them have sponsors and are white supremacists and their policies. And so I feel like anybody, athlete, non-athlete, who has the courage, yeah. I got that from, and she done moved on to something else, but I got that from poetry, My Twisted Life with Poetry. She like, he ain't 45, he's 0. I'm like, yes, I receive that. That's what yeah. I applaud anybody who has, the courage, to do anything, really. I mean, especially if you're Black, especially, like, because I just feel like it just takes courage, and it takes belief, and it takes, seeing through, the propaganda to God, and it just takes trust, and it's, I feel like it's, I'm not really mad at people. I just feel like everybody's doing the best they can, so. But speaking of everybody, so the 911 operator who hanging up on people, then I'm kind of like, now I guess that it's like, it takes integrity to speak up. I always speak up when people are trying to tear us down as a people. I hate when that happens. Yeah. And I think it's something actually that you can cultivate. I think that fear is something that you can cultivate. And I think that courage is something that you can cultivate. But I think they're like, we have to value things to cultivate them, otherwise, just whatever happened to grow is what grows. But, if we're trying to grow and develop in a certain way, we have to work on that. We have to, you have to and I feel like each time you do it, I think you get a little stronger and a little stronger and a little stronger. So kudos, that's good. It's important. And I feel like we need voices. We need us to speak out. Wait, I'm hyperventilating. Four more years. Okay, let me shut up. Okay, so then I'm kind of like, how you gonna become a 911 operator? And I would think if you becoming a 911 operator, you would feel like this is serious. Like, people are calling. Like, for the most part, now there are some people who play on the phone, but for the most part, if somebody's calling 911, that's serious. Like, you're dealing with life and death situations. And it's sort of like, I don't know, how do you hang up on thousands of people? And then I don't know, like, were they able to go home? Like, how are they feeling? Are they cool? Are they just trifling? Like, I don't know if the operator was just hanging up on Black folks. I didn't even read the article. It's coming off of Atlanta Black Star. So I don't know. I don't know if the operator is Black. I don't know. She didn't like their accents. Well, we've seen, because it seems like it was some story here recently that I saw on the news where somebody was real, like, janky with how they handled the 911 situation. It was somebody who called in and they didn't get the color and the make of the car. And then when the cops got there, they couldn't find the person who had called for help, and the person ended up making a transition, even though the cops were there, because they didn't. I was talking about the 911 operator. I'm like, I don't know how they feel. I might be too sensitive, but Ooh, but anyway, thousands of cars. So she got sentenced. I don't know what she got sentenced for. Is East Africa ready for Kitenge? I don't know what Kitenge is. Kitenge Friday. They say it's like colorful cloth, but I suspect that it might be like a Kenyan or a particular type of Kenyan or East African cloth. But I love that idea. You know how in gots to go and should be sentenced, right? I mean, that's like the basic part. That's your whole job. What you doing? What are you doing? That's like if your job is to make burgers and you're not making any burgers. What are you doing? But okay, so in some places they have like casual Fridays. I don't know if you work a job and if y'all have casual Friday on your job, but I think that all Black folks throughout the world should adopt something like that or adapt something like that. Katinje Fridays, like where we wear, our African things or colorful cloth or, like just something to show, yeah, we part of our nation. We celebrate in our culture. And this is like a worldwide thing or a countrywide thing. I think that's exciting. So I don't know what those they said East Africans, but I think, Kenya, when I think East Africa, I don't know why. That's not the only country over there. I like that idea. And I was listening to something today. Oh, it was talking about registering people to vote. And there's some program where they're like, everybody is supposed to register. This is on I finally listened to the Black Talk radio on Sirius XM. But they were like, there's some program where everybody register 10 Black folks to vote. And I was like, wow, what if each of us took 10 Black folks to our favorite Black restaurant or our favorite Black business, or introduce people to 10 different Black businesses, or, like, it's just like, what if I don't know if I'm going to register one person to vote, but, right, voting does not work. Not making burgers. Well, in that case, you saving lives. That's true. They have a buy Black business, but that's a good idea. When I was in Brooklyn, they had something called Bogolan Brooklyn. And and I don't know whatever happened to it, but they were trying to, because a lot of the businesses were in properties that they didn't own. And as the businesses started to thrive and the community started to thrive, frequently, it seems from what I hear, from what I remember, rumor has it, allegedly, the Jewish owners, that's where I originally came from, Brooklyn. The Jewish owners would then raise the price so that you went from, paying $600 a month in rent and being able to build a business to then now they want $2,000 a month, and you can't, you out of business because you can't, the numbers just don't work like that. You know what I mean? And it was happening to business after business after business. So they were trying to do this thing where they were like, kind of promoting. And remember, we were talking about the different layers of Black business ownership. Like, where do you get your products from? Are your suppliers, are your wholesalers Black owned? Is your property Black owned? It's like so many different layers. Right. So Bogolan Brooklyn was trying to, like, and this was, 20, I don't know how many years ago. Yeah, it's a long time ago. But they were trying to, but yeah, I mean, I don't think if it's not thriving, I don't think there's any reason to not revisit it and not talk about it. Take 10 Black people and have each of them have 10 other Black people to buy land and building. Damn the churches. Yeah, so when we're talking about, what's new and good at the beginning of the chat, let's start talking about, I introduced somebody who had never been to this Black business to this Black business. Yeah, a group of us have got together and we got a susu going, and each of us are putting in, $10 a month, $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, and we're circulating among us to help us get, our businesses going or our projects going, or, to try to see if we can develop trust and relationship with, a small amount of money, or, you know what I mean? Like, what's good? What's good, sis? What's good, bruh? But anyway, I mean, I think it's cool, to wear the clothes, and, I think that's cool. But Yeah. Okay. Why Arden's Maori cloak worn to meet the Queen delighted New Zealand. So the Maori, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but this, do we know the difference about having capital or leasing? That's important. Yeah, and let's start talking about it. Let's talk to 10 people about it. Let's ask 10 people about it. I don't even know specifically what you were asking. You mean like the difference between owning the building versus leasing or renting the building that you're doing business from if you have a storefront? Um, but yes, okay, yeah. Um, and I mean, and then, yeah. And I mean, we have a legacy of doing this. We have a history of doing this. My father owns, his property. He owns his business. My father's father had property in what was called Black Bottom, Detroit. Had a shoe shine shop. He had a business. He owned his property. There have been several Black Wall Streets throughout the history of this country. There are several Black communities and towns and townships that we don't even know, named and unnamed, known and unknown, that we can't call the names of. But we have a legacy of folks, owning property and building businesses. And, we need to build on that legacy and call them ancestors to help us and guide us and help us, from the other side to understand, maybe some of the stuff, we need to rely on their wisdom to help us move through, Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I miss what you're concerned about because it's a lot of reading. But I mean, I think it's a conversation and I don't know, I shouldn't say, I don't think it's a conversation. I think it's several conversations. I think it's lots of prayers. I think it's lots of thoughts and, talks and, Becky getting them legacies today. Sonya sees you got a new avatar. I don't even know what you're talking about. Becky, is that the Maori cloak? Okay. So yeah, I think it's I think we need to just continue to talk about. I mean, not necessarily like I don't think I need to necessarily facilitate it. But yeah, we let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep create the conversation, advance the conversation, jump into the conversation, So the Maori cloak is a traditional garment that is made out of feathers, and it's in the region of the world where the Europeans call it New Zealand. I don't know what the other people called it, the original people or called it, but it's made out of feathers, and it's usually something that is passed on through generations. Like you would wear it for important occasions, but you might have your mother's or your grandmother's or your great grandmother's cloak, and usually it indicates like some sort of status. The more intricate it is, I think the more the higher your status. And usually it is for people that are of that culture. But like the Queen of England was given one, this woman from New Zealand was given one, and they can give it to people who are high status in another community. So a lot of New Zealanders are really excited about it. And this Commonwealth Summit is still going on. I guess that's what's going on in the news. We've been talking about it for a couple of days. This woman is pregnant, so it talks about like the strength of women and like protection of children. I think when she got elected, we knew she was pregnant, but I can't remember now because I don't know. Diante Yarber, father of 3, shot and killed by police in Walmart parking lot. So rest in peace to Diante Yarber. I don't know if this was the situation. I skimmed some article today where they were like a suspicious black Mustang in the parking lot of Walmart. I don't know where this Walmart is, but there are the Walmarts I've been to, there are like 1 million cars in them. And then the cops came and surrounded the people. It was a driver, another brother shot, keep a list family. This brother's name is Diante Yarber, shot and killed, father of 3. There were, and if it's not this particular, Yeah, another one. So there were 4 people in the car. I think there was a young woman in the back. There might have been 3 or 4, but they shot like, I think 20 rounds. I don't know if a round equals a bullet. I don't really understand that. The shooter was the cops. I think the shooter was the cop, and I don't know what his name was or her or their names, because I don't think it was just one cop. This story is coming off of the Grio. And the brother's name is Diante Yarber, Yarber. So if you're, yeah, I don't know, girl. I mean, I just feel like, I don't even really know how I feel. I mean, it seemed like this time last year, I feel like I went through a similar thing, like where you just, it's like, it's so much. Many boys with Ante in their names. Always some bad news about them lately. You think the cops know before they shoot them that they got Ante in their name? Or that's just like very common among black folks, you know? Devante. Oh. Shavante. Oh. Yeah. So yeah, rest in peace to him, and, you know, peace to the family and the community and all of us, you know. May they always claim that they fear for their lives. Yeah. May the ancestors, you know, just welcome him, and, you know, may they stimulate us to just rise up in disgust and anger and like, enough already. Just to rise up with enough, god daggone it, enough. It's just an excuse to shoot. And I still, you know, there was this thing where the FBI, CIA, one of the federal agencies had done research about, okay, so there are 2 different things. One thing is the idea that, you know, the police are just like a continuation of the slave patrols. They just the patty rollers. Like, you know, what's the difference? You know, they just doing what they doing. They on code. They part of the slave code, you know. And then there was a study. This is sort of different, but not sort of kind of, but where the FBI or the CIA did it, and they were talking about how the police law enforcement had been infiltrated by you know, white supremacists, Nazis, neo-Nazis, KKK, you know, whatever, which kind of confused me, because I'm like, aren't they already neo-Nazis, KKK, white supremacists? Like, how they gonna, that's like being like, you know, Angela's family was infiltrated by Angela's family. But it's interesting that this study was done, and it's not exactly interesting, it's par for the course, so I don't know why it's interesting. But I still, like, part of me is like, why isn't anyone saying anything like that? You know, why isn't anyone saying anything about that? You know, like, I don't know why. It's like, I'm like, remember that study you all did? Remember? And it's like, yeah, they remember they did the study. They know what's up. Even an elephant would get you if you try to go after their young. We got to protect our community. It has to be that way. Yeah. So, yeah. I guess I just invite and ask, you know, because I feel like, you know, just like they say that the Haitian Revolution was started by, you know, I feel like spiritual warriors. You know, that's the first vanguard. That's the first wave as far as I'm concerned. You know, God first, family second, you know, everything else after that. You know, you connect with God and then you move. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like, I feel like that's the foundational thing. Scarfy. Scarfy. So, you know, I just feel like, you know, spiritual warriors, you know, is it time? I mean, what ancestors, what we waiting on? They gonna just kill all of us? I mean, well, what's up? You know, it's kind of like if somebody come up to you and they smack you in your face and you be like, dang, that's jacked up. You smacked me in my face. And they smack you in your face again. You be like, oh, that is really jacked. Did y'all see him smack me in my face? And they be like, you like, they smacked me. I mean, like, at some point it's kind of like, yeah, they smacked you in your face. Like, you know what I'm saying? It starts to look a little foolish. Or I don't know if it's foolish. I don't know. I feel a little foolish. I feel like, yeah, I'm like, it's the same story. It's the same story again and again and again. Like, when you gonna smack them back? You know, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like, and I feel like we in this. And then I was reading something. Remember, I was like, oh my gosh, the Haitian Revolution was like 10 years. I mean, 10 years, that's a long time. And then I was reading, it's like the average war is like 10 years. I'm like, oh, so it's not long. I've never really been a part of a war. That other than this war, but I think it's a different type of war. Throwing rocks at the cops. Yeah. Jamaica. Yeah. But, and then I was reading about how would have burned the street police station down by now. Right. Frozen in fear and learned behavior. And that's what I kind of feel like our response is. Like, I feel like that's like our program response is like, this is messed up. And I remember at one point realizing, like, dang, every time I go to a march, when I was a student, I remember one time I went to DC for a march, and I got on the bus because it was a free ride to DC, and I was going to hang out with my girl at Howard. So I was going to get on the bus, go to DC, hang out with her, and then come back. I wasn't planning to go to the march. But then, on the bus and everything, I kind of got caught up in it. And so when I got there, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to march. And so, we marched, and then we got close to like the ending line, the finish line. And then the dignitaries jumped in. They ain't marched with us. They just came like in the last like two feet, like for the photo ops. And I was kind of like, it just seems so hypocritical and silly. Like, nothing you're doing is making them hurt. It's burning up your energy. Because when you're like, what? I can't believe they did that. And you like get all like worked up. Then you like burn off some of your energy, some of your focus, some of your, you know what I mean? And then you just go back to life as normal. You don't like let it out. It's like an escape valve. Like if you have a pressure cooker and then I've never used a pressure cooker, but I see you like turn this valve to let the steam escape, to let the pressure escape. That's like what like some of the marches are, or like some of the articles or some of the conversations. Like, I don't know how to keep the pressure on, but it just seems like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just know it looks, foolish to me. And I hope that they still get their black sports and entertainment, their black, all of our creativity, So I just, if we don't have the answers, I hope, just may we be inspired. Just God, ancestors, children inspire us, Yeah. India rape crisis. We are afraid, family. They've effeminized a number, not all of our men, and weakened our black women. But we can change that. And, I do feel like just like you can, I think that I think we do need to be about the business of cultivating certain things. And I think, just like, for example, sometimes when I do like a tarot reading, it'll say someone will ask a question, oh, blah, 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 blah. And what I've come to understand is that sometimes it's not like you're like, well, should I go to Chicago or not? And tarot is like, yes, or spirit is like, yes, go to Chicago. But really, it's not yes, go to Chicago. It's yes, prepare to go to Chicago. Yes, get on the road. Yes, head west as if you're going to Chicago. Because between here and Chicago, a lot can happen. But if you heading to Flint, you're going to be heading in the wrong direction. Yeah, the chosen few will lead as an example. So, I feel like, it's cultivating that discipline, so what can we do, each of us personally, to cultivate our courage, to cultivate our discipline, to, increase our awareness, to see through, the bull to what it is, to conserve our energy and not like, just like waste it on, foolishness, and I'm not saying like, because, like, I just kind of feel like, I'm not saying that being like, someone making their transition and being gunned down is foolishness. I'm not saying that at all. Like, it's far from foolishness. But I do think that us having the same response again and again and again, to me, I start to feel a little foolish. Like, I feel like I don't think that necessarily honors and respects the life of the person who has made their transition, so I just feel like just continue to do the work. And I guess, the conversation about, separating mentally, and like, just continue to do whatever you see as the next step and take it seriously. Yeah, and be kind to our young and let people do, what they do, what they're called to do, what they're assigned to do. Um, yeah, yeah. So, I'm like, I shouldn't say clearly, but I don't think that I'm like a warrior. And I just keep hoping that, the warriors are out here, making plans and, you know what I mean? Like, and that it ain't none of my business, because that's not my lane. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping. I'm like, I hope that, I, I hope, I mean, we got war, yeah. So I'm gonna try to stay in my lane, and I'm gonna try to take seriously what I feel that I have been assigned to do, and do that, earnestly, and continue to build and develop in that way. And if it's something else I need to know, if it's something else, help me to know, God. You know what I mean? Like, let me be receptive. If I need to, like, go buck wild, go postal, I stay away from them and keep it moving. Right. And see, what we can't do, or what we can do, is we can manage ourselves. I can't manage you. You know what I mean? So, like, I have to manage the love that I have in my heart for white folks and for things white. Or, like, big up and build up and cultivate and magnify and amplify the love that I have for my black self, my black family, my black community. You know what I mean? And I mean, you got to do I can't, Right. Yeah, I don't know if I just feel like, you get in motion and you're going to connect with like-minded people. And some of those like-minded people are for a long time and some are for a short time, and it's all good, you know. India rape crisis, Twitter users rally around hunger strike. There's a hunger striker. There's a woman who's like having a hunger strike. We talked about the little 8-year-old girl who was gang raped by, some people in India. It seemed to be like some Muslim Buddhist war type bull crap stuff. Did I say gang raped and murdered? So anyway, this woman is having a hunger, she's a hunger strike. But she say that what she want is rapists need to be hung. They need to be hung by the neck until they're dead. And I mean, I don't know. That made me feel some kind of way. Like, on one hand, I'm kind of like, yeah. But then on another hand, I'm kind of like, murder? So anyway, I just thought it was interesting. Algerian woman denied French citizenship over handshake. That happens often in India. So the Algerian woman, in the same way, I guess, that you can become a naturalized citizen in in this country, or country, you can do the same in France. So when they were having the ceremony, congratulations, you're now a citizen, or congratulations, you're going to be a citizen. And the Muslim woman didn't shake the man's hand. And so they said she could not become a citizen because she was not adapting the French ways of interacting. And her religious, spiritual beliefs or whatever say, if you're not my relative and you're a man, I'm not about touching you. You know what I mean? And then there was something also, I guess, in France where some young boys had to give their female teacher a handshake, or I can't remember what it was, but like that assimilation into culture. And you know, those French people are kind of intense about their culture. Like they have a cultural ministry. Yeah, of course. I mean, many of us don't respect us. But yeah, throughout the world, there's like a disrespect of black folks. Castro did that too. Oh, dang. I saw you said that they forced everybody to do something and Castro did it too, but I missed it. Tennessee mayor. Yes, right. Wartime maneuvers and skills. Castro did that too. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, yeah. And you know, I don't know. Like, is that like, you know, is it like a luxury to be like, well, I'm not a warrior? I mean, I don't know. Like, if like I feel like personally, if somebody came and was beating my behind, I'd be like, I would fight. I would, you know, I hope from experience, it seems like I would. You know what I mean? So the people are coming and beating my behind. So maybe I do need to be like, you know, taking it or approaching it, thinking about it in a whole different way. So yeah, I'm prayerful about it. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm receptive to, you know, guidance and you know, having a, you know, yeah, sometimes you just see things differently. So maybe I'll have like a whole different perspective on things. You know, maybe my paradigm will shift and I'll be out here, you know, doing the do, and y'all be like, that's Angela. Tennessee mayor shows complete disregard for family who was forced out of their home over racial abuse. It'll blow over. The name of the place is Friendship, Tennessee. I think it's called Friendship, Tennessee. And the people were being like harassed. Like, I don't know if they were being harassed, like the people were spray painting on the house, but the people had to leave because they did not feel safe or comfortable. And the mayor's like, oh, it's all good. To him, I guess, or her, I think it's to him. I guess to him it is all good. He don't give a F. And he let you know it by saying it'll blow over. It's cool. Starbucks chairman wants to see reconciliation between manager and two black men. Says she suffered in her own way. So now they want the men, we are not fighting destructive people, but we can accomplish anything that comes our way. And hey, we may not even need to fight with combat. Yeah. I had one of the people I know who, you know, who studies, who does work. It was like about however long ago, I remember him saying something about, you know, they were doing some work. And I got really like excited, like, oh, it's about to be on. You know what I mean? Like, yes. And then it's kind of like, I didn't see anything. But, you know, that's the thing. That's like an immature way of looking at things. Because a lot of times, just because you don't see something doesn't mean that things aren't in the works and that things aren't happening. The coons sold out for a check. The coons may just do it. They seem so young. I saw them on an interview. How old are they? They look like their vibration is like 21, 22. They seem so young. They're coons. I gotta look up this word coons because y'all be just cooning up a storm. I feel like this whole narrative of, you know, I don't feel like it's isolated to them. I feel like that's the narrative. We have to forgive them because it's so hard for them. You know, like, oh, she's been hurt. I feel like I'm not here for it. I don't care. Those young men, that's secondary to me. They talk like they're 9 years old. Okay, I'm okay. I saw like a piece of an interview and I was like, they are really young. So are they like college students? I know they're older than 9, but yeah. I feel like because we forgive so easily, but that's part of that conditioning. Like that's the demand they're placing on there. the Starbucks chairman wants to see reconciliation. That's like when Rodney King said, can't we all just get along? I'm like, I don't know why he said that. I don't know if somebody told him to say that, but that's like the narrative. Can't we all just reconcile? Can't we all just be friends? We ain't be y'all. Y'all the ones not being friendly to us. Can't you just reconcile? You know what I mean? Can't you just get along? White fraternity pledges at Syracuse. I solemnly swear to always have hatred in my heart for N-words, Nigger. And it goes on. It's like a whole, can't we all just get our reparations? Right. Can't we? Right. Can't you stay the hell away from me? So Syracuse, New York, upstate New York, up south, they had the new people pledging in, and, they have them doing this ritual or whatever, talking about how they swear to hate whoever, black, Nigger, whatever. And then the people say, oh, it's just a joke. That's another one of their lines. It was satirical. They said satirical, but same thing. Oh, we didn't mean it. Critics warn Maryland's comprehensive crime laws may target minorities. You think? Have you met America? Well, welcome to America. KYRGYZ, Kurzig mayor dons fake beard to tour city in disguise. I think this is some European city. I guess that if he just went in the city without the beard, the people would, I don't know how people treat mayors, but I wouldn't think they would have to get disguised to move across the city. To move about the city and see how the city is. That just seemed kind of weird, dumb to me. Okay. Workers' Memorial Day events planned throughout the state. So I don't know when Workers' Memorial Day is. I'm not really familiar with that. But I was talking to this guy today. He worked in construction for like 33 years, like building like big stadiums and, hospitals and that kind of construction. And he went through this whole list of how many people he saw die on the job. He then this happened to him. One little young man, I saw him walk backward off a building. I was like, I've never seen anybody die on the job. On a job. Have you ever seen anybody die on a job? He was just going through. I was just so like, and then this one, and then this one, and then I feel like he probably told me at least 7 or 8 just standing right there in about 5 or 10 minutes. I do not want reparations in the form of money. Yeah, I just am very, very challenged by that whole word and that whole concept of reparations. I'm just very challenged. I can't seem to like reconcile, because I feel like even in South Africa, so you kick them out. But what about so you give me land, you give me money, whatever. There's an average. They're expected. I guess so, Myosha. Hey, Myosha, welcome on the chat. Listening to him, I was kind of like surprised. Like, I had no idea. I want my money. Yeah, I just feel like money ain't gonna undo the shit. My land ain't gonna, I'm not turning down money, land, I guess today I'm turning down apologies. I don't give a fuck. Excuse me, I don't give a care. But yeah, I just, yeah. So, I don't know if you all know anyone who has, died on the job in your family, any of your ancestors. Oh, I thought you were talking about our reparations. I don't think so. I thought you brought up the subject of reparations. I'll have to look back at the chat. I don't know. Stephon Clark's brother Devontae denied bail after arrest on suspicion of making threats, authorities say. It's not looking good, Now, is he the one who it's been 3 boys, and now we know of this one who's made his transition that we know of publicly, acting a fool. Another one had made he is in distress. I feel like when you look at the child's tweet, the brother who died, who he dealing with, what he's saying is he was in distress. Something's wrong. Like, I don't know who their family is, who their people is, what's going on. But I mean, I guess they not really any different from most black folks. We in distress. You know what I mean? I'm surprised more of us ain't out here acting a fool more often. So yeah, he out here, but I feel like that's like if you saw that Iyanla Fix My Life, the little girl, the young woman who was taken very close to her birth and raised by another woman. And then when she was 18, 21, something like that, she got reunited with her birth mother. And she ended up like having this whole thing. Nah, it's the way he's doing it. Oh, that's not the normal acting a fool. But when that young woman like went off on Iyanla, it was kind of like, I felt bad for her because, I just feel like she clearly has a lot going on. I mean, you could see that. But also it's kind of like, if she out here, need us to be kind to them. If she out here, at Walmart, if she out here wherever in the world acting like that, Iyanla didn't call the cops on her, but the next place she do that at, what's going to happen to that child? We going to be hearing, she needed private help. She needed private help. And I don't know, I don't really understand. I never really understood Iyanla, because when I met Iyanla, it was in Brooklyn at, it was like a woman's community. I can't even remember. I used to know the name of it. But she was came through, in a spiritual context. And I didn't vibe with her. She felt very, like I have a Capricornian energy, can be very challenging to me. And she felt like hardcore, like Cap to me. Not like Capricornic, but like Capricorn to me. And, so like, it's kind of like when I see her on the TV, it's kind of like, I'm just like on what levels is she working with the people? Is she working with the people just on the level of getting currency in her pocket? Is she working with the people? I don't know. I mean, and sometimes I see some stuff and I can like vibe with it, but yeah, the child needed private help, and also all kinds of or is it just ratings? It's just, I don't know. You think she's good at what she does. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I read one of her first books I read. I was just kind of like, And then it was like everywhere I went, black women were like, I can't remember the name of the book, but they were like, oh, this book. They were just like, this book changed my life. This book changed. It wasn't Value in the Valley. I think it was the book before that. Like, people were just, so she touches a lot of people. I know that. All of them are our children. Yes. And really, I think quiet as it's kept, many of us are children as well. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like developmentally, like when you have a trauma, like I have an uncle who, when their parents died, he was like 13. He became an alcoholic then. And in many ways, he's kind of like still 13. He's like 65 or however old he is. He ain't 13. But, when you deal with him and when you look at his actions, it's almost like that emotional crisis. He like never really had the tools to get through it. He never had the support to get through it. And so it's kind of like he stopped there. And I think a lot of us are stopped. I think we like have crisis after crisis after crisis after crisis. And like, we're stunted, like, it's like, we may be, physically advanced. We may be sexually advanced. We may be, professionally advanced. But, there are a lot of us that are, Yeah. There are a lot of us who I think are still, I think we need to treat each other, like brothers and sisters. And, you know, yeah, she's not my cup of tea, but she showed, a lot of people really seem to resonate, with her. And like again, sometimes when I see her work, even on the TV, it's like, okay, I see that. I understand it. I can feel it. Zimbabwe Parliament summons Robert Mugabe over diamond theft claim. So this is the president who just stepped down within the last 3 or 4 months. Peter Pan. I don't remember the Peter Pan hat she wore on Oprah. So Mugabe just stepped down. And he's one of the leaders who came into leadership on the revolution, on the a lot of the African countries were, in their getting their freedom or independence, I guess is the term. I don't even want to use revolution because I don't think it was so much revolution. But, these independents, these people who fought for it. Yeah, I guess, a lot of people fought for that independence over there because Europe didn't want to let go and, didn't really exactly let go. But anyway, he seemed like he hemmed up in the system. I don't know if he's, I don't know what the deal is. Florida sheriff blames hate of law enforcement for recent ambush killing of 2 deputies. New Orleans senior sets new record at school with, was more like fake thrown down. Like when he resigned, because it was like this whole thing we were talking about, like they were like, he's going to resign. He's not resigned. He's under house arrest. He's not under house arrest. They encouraging him to resign. He got up to speak. He's like, I'm not resigning. I'm like, I don't think he resigning. Is it going to be a coup? What's going to happen? We were watching like, what's going on? And then he said he resigned. So I don't know. I mean, but the military was living in his house. So I don't know. I didn't really know how to understand the whole thing. I'm just trying to pay more attention so that I can start to develop, an understanding. Okay, a fake coup. Yeah, I don't have enough context in that. I feel like, I don't have enough context, period, even in this region of the world. A lot of times I'm like, what is really going on? I don't know, New Orleans senior sets new record at school with 83 acceptance letters and $3 million in scholarships. So he said he was just applying. He didn't know how many schools he applied to. So he was like, I got 83 acceptance letters. So my question is this: when I was applying, I feel like I had to pay $20 per application or $50 per application or something like that. I applied to NYU and Barnard. I applied to 2 schools. He was under house arrest while giving speeches at graduation. So you were following Mugabe. So is it that this child's application fees were waived and he didn't have to pay for the applications? Is his family independently? Well, I mean, like, how you out here applying to so many schools? You don't know how many schools. I don't know. And now I think, I actually had to do like a typed up application for each school. But I think now they have like a universal application that you can submit within certain systems or whatever. So you don't have to do, I love me some Mugabe. Oh, I love to get more information. Because I tried to follow it and understand like the whole Gucci Grace. And I'm kind of like, well, it sounded like slanderous to me, or like, why, and then even here recently, like within the last month or whatever, they say that the people were on the land that, the farm that Grace Mugabe had claimed, they were claiming it back and they were out there mining for diamonds on. And I'm like, what is going on? Oh, is that his son? Malema of the Economic Freedom Fighters in South Africa? No. Okay, now I'm really confused. No. Things are better now with technology. Okay, I keep hearing about, okay, let me keep going. Oh, I can't keep going because I came out, I was so excited. Like, if some of these things would fire off and connect, I might be able to, like, solve all the issues in the world. If I could just figure it out, we could solve it. Arizona high schooler suspended for wearing do-rag says his punishment is racist. Do white people wear do-rag? Only black people wear do-rags. That's like, yeah, anyway. Liberia warlord Jungle Jabba jailed for 30 years in the U.S. No, it's not his son. Malema is just another version, a son, like a political son, a spiritual son. Okay, I understand. Okay, yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of international people. Like, I feel like I haven't read Franz Fanon. I read one man, like, it's a whole bunch of people, like, that I want to read and understand that I just, like, I feel like a lot of those revolutionaries from the, 50s, and he's in South Africa. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I was like, Zimbabwe to South Africa? Wait, what's going on? But he's with EFF, with the Economic Freedom Fighters. You probably the one that taught me what EFF is. I see some white guys on campus wearing do-rags. Oh, so, okay. I love Franz Fanon too. Okay, yeah, I need to. So maybe it's not, I guess everything can't be racist as much as I really want it to be. That's my dream. But some dreams, I'm just going to set it aside for today. Liberia warlord Jungle Jabba jailed for 30 years in the U.S. So again, they were having a 13 years of warring in Liberia. They say that this man was known for frying up people's hearts or cooking up people's hearts for people to eat. He did it on 2 or 3 occasions. He's been here in the United States. What you'll find is we're wanted about all this happening now in these, we're warned about all this happening now in these old books, The Truth, and then came Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. Yeah, I didn't read the ISIS papers, but it seems like I read something. But now I'm like, it's kind of a lot, it was a long time ago and a lot going on. Yeah. So anyway, he's been tried in the United States. Liberia wants him to be tried in Liberia and or world court. I'm still trying to understand this whole world court thing. So that's still going on. Tiffany Haddish's clever response to Jada Pinkett Smith's assertion that she shouldn't wear knockoff handbags. So I didn't know it was Jada Pinkett Smith. I heard that she said something about if I have a $300 bag, I need to have $300 in it or something to that effect, which I think, that's good. Really, I feel like if you have a $300 bag, you need to have at least $3,000 in it. But still, don't have all your money in the bag. Have some of your money in your pocket. But I didn't know that Jada Pinkett Smith was trying to clown her for, giving money to Gucci or giving money to white design, like, I feel like what you out here doing, Jada Pinkett Smith, what you talking about? You know what I mean? Why should she be investing money, spending money, on that stuff, huh? I don't know. I didn't read the article, but this is not looking good for you. Oprah Winfrey accused of stealing Greenleaf concept. College student goes viral with spot-on recreation of Beyonce's Baychella choreography. I saw it on Twitter. The little girl, the young woman was like, so I can't remember what she said, but like, y'all must be crazy if you think I'm going to be sitting up here learning Beyonce's choreography. And then boom, they have a side-by-side of her doing the choreography. I'm like, girl, go study. Excellent. She was very good. These people, these Beyonce fans, I mean, now if being a Beyonce fan could give us freedom, we'd have been, because the passion and the seriousness and the commitment and the dedication, I mean, that child, and then I'm also confused because it's like, so she's performing at Coachella this weekend too. So I thought it was like one perform, like, so what's she gonna do this weekend? We got to talk about this again, or she just gonna come on and sing and then leave? I can't keep up with this internet thing. I saw it on Twitter last night, but I see it's on the news feed, so it's trending. You could probably find her. And she's like fluffy. I like that too. I like, I don't know. I like to see all different, but she's like, she ain't no skinny little girl. Not a beehive, but a bee fan. And what the hell is Coachella? Girl, nothing. It's an outdoor concert. We call it Beachella. I don't, but that's what they were calling it. Beyonce did a big performance last weekend. She was supposed to do it last year, but she was pregnant. So we saw her on stage. I don't know if you heard of that, some kind of Woodstock. She's the first Black woman to perform on the main stage. Last year when she was supposed to perform, she did some show where she was, it's a spring break remix. I don't know. She did something where I don't know. Cause I've never been, but I think you like stay in tents and stuff. When we did spring break, we stayed in hotels. So I don't know. I mean, it seemed more like a Woodstock, like she was on point. Now, I mean, she's very entertaining, and she's really interesting. She's very charismatic. Like, she has charisma, to me. Like, I'm not a fan. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch her. But when the people get so excited, sometimes I do go. And then once you start watching, it's kind of like she's compelling. Like, I don't know why. Because, sometimes she don't really be talking about nothing, but, and then the people get so excited. Like, how Beyonce just, is the end all and be all to Black intellectual analysis of the current state of Black women in America. And you be like, huh? Wait, let me look at the video again, because I didn't see all of that. But they, and when she turned her head that way, that was a symbology. She put on a good show. Not much singing, though. Yeah. Now, someone was saying that, I heard somebody on a YouTube video who was saying that she has really cultivated and developed her voice, that when she started her voice, because they were talking about the transitions. See, that's what, I don't even know how, I'm not even a music person, but they were talking about how she goes from, like, in this song, she goes from, even though the song is set in G, she put it in this concert at D, and then it blended in better with this. So the transitions, either with rhythm or with keys, she was doing all of this like magic. I mean, they just are so, and I mean, I didn't even really exactly know what he was talking about, but the main thing that I got is that he was just really, really impressed and excited about and just awestruck by, by Beyonce. But anyway, I'm confused because I'm like, so if we already had the concert last week, we got another big, I thought that was going to be it. So anyway, I like to see the little girl, young woman doing her thing. Fraternity leader claims that Theta Tau members are scared for their lives. So we should reconcile and feel bad for them after racist video surfaced. We do in our living room. Well, shoot, these are the Black folks. And I don't know if we like getting excited because it's like she's bringing Black college. Like, people are doing what she's doing, at Black colleges all over the country. Like, that's Black American culture, or part of Black American culture. You know what I mean? So, I mean, she sang Lift Every Voice and Sing, and then I hear that she sang Nina Simone. That's what I really want to hear, because now Nina Simone, I really enjoy her music and her work. We've seen this culture before. Right, we've seen, but some people haven't been to HBCUs, and that they or aren't familiar with the culture, but yeah, anyway, I don't even want to get into a whole. So the fraternity children are scared for their lives because, the mean Black people are so upset and don't understand their joke when they're being satirical about saying, that they're going to pledge to hate on NIGGERS, whatever. She also did a West Africa tribute. Yeah. I started watching. It's like a 2-hour concert. I think I got through like 15 or 20 minutes before my video cut off, which was good because I have other stuff I need to be doing. I really don't have time in my schedule, like 2 hours to watch Beyonce. Diante Yarber. Oh, yeah. But, I thought it was interesting that she was singing. I just thought it was interesting. I think it's, what people get exposed to, what they feel inspired by, GBI investigating Alpha Kappa Alpha, aka the Black Greek letter sorority sex scandal at Fort Valley State University, plus aka issues statement. So I don't know if y'all heard about it. I'm not really clear. It's something about the young women were maybe possibly supposedly exchanging sex to pay for their initiation fee. I'm not really clear. And I skimmed the article, and I had heard about it before, and I'm still not really clear. But so that's coming off of straight from the A. But I think it's not in mainstream media, but it's probably I think it was with the mayor. Because first when I heard the story, they were like, they're having sex with mayors and governors. And I'm like, huh? And when I skimmed the article, I still couldn't really figure it out. And I guess I just didn't take the time. Because, it's like I was, so much going on that I'm like, I'm just, the Black light skin sorority. They're not all light skin. Now you start to sound like me. So I don't know, but it's probably on the Black blogs. It's not made it to mainstream press yet, but AKA is making a statement. Them girls crazy AF. Really? The art of parsing apology. So it was a whole little article about how to apologize. I've been on this phone. It's been so long I can't even get into it. But Canadian politician apologizes for saying weed makes Jamaicans lazy. Yesterday I had 50 ounces of water. I had 8 servings of fruits and vegetables. I don't know. I don't know what the story is. I was going to say I think they are, but I don't know. I couldn't even figure it. It was like, it seemed, just even it was so convoluted. I'm like, I don't understand. Because usually it's only one mayor in a town. Are they selling, like, what is going on? What are they talking about? It's even only one governor in the state. But those young women that were like online in the little image I saw, they look like a little cute girl, a little, 8 servings of fruits and vegetables. That was 3 dates and 1 coconut serving in my nut milk. And then I had some lettuce, I made a little salad thing. And then I had 1 serving in my apple and 2 servings of roasted veggies. That was yesterday. National School Walkout, U.S. students mark Columbine anniversary. So that is it. That's the notes on the news feed. So what are you looking forward to? So what we gonna do? We gonna tell 10. So do each of us patronize? Do we have I think I need to get my list of my top 10 Black businesses, and I invite you to do the same. I don't even know if I can think of 10 Black businesses that I patronize. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that, but I'm gonna challenge myself to selling themselves for membership. I didn't see what you said, but I think in order to get initiated, there is a fee, and I think it's like $200-300. It's not like $20. It's like, if your family has money, $200-300 may not be anything, but if not, and you a student, that can be a lot of money, and it may be more than that. I don't know what the it could be 2,000-3,000. So yeah, I'm gonna challenge myself to come up with my list of my 10 favorite Black businesses. Or maybe we just get the one Black business and send 10 people there. Start with that if we can't come up with 10. But let's play around with the 10 in the Black business. So either top 10 Black businesses for each of us. My broke ass got 300. You don't have to sell your behind to get $300. I don't know. Maybe I'll read the. I figure it'll come, but I figure it'll I figure I'll end up hearing it, like either on Sister Circle or, sometimes it's like I can't be bothered to try to figure it out because I figure I'll hear about it again. And it's, Okay, so that's the challenge, Let's start developing our list, sharing our list of our top 10 favorite Black businesses. Or, our top 10 Black businesses. And you can include yourself if you're a Black business person. So when we're new and good, let's start shouting out, some Black businesses and, where they're located, what services they have, why we love them, what loving suggestions we may or may not have. I don't even know if that's appropriate because, people can be sensitive, but, yeah. Oh, I guess I'm in Detroit. Shoot, I can come up with but I'm talking about that I patronize. And see, I don't even spend any money. So Aldi's ain't Black owned. That's get my groceries. Aldi's okay, yeah. And we used to have a Black grocery store in Detroit, Black owned. But we don't anymore. You base it on our culture. Mm-hmm. Yep. I can, all of that. I would entertain that argument. I've had that conversation. I come from my grandmother was an AKA and my mother is a Delta. I am not a sorority woman. But, that book, When and Where I Enter, when I read that book, I kind of got a whole different perspective. I think I'm like, I might be less hard in a way I feel like I have in my old age, I kind of feel like, you find connection, try to do a little good where you can, how you can, and if that, Paula Giddings, yep. Yeah, when I read that, I had a whole different, I don't know, I'm not familiar with any of her other work. Maybe I should read some of her other work. And it's been years, it's been probably 25 years since I read that book, but it really, I was kind of like, oh. And even actually Quiet as It's Kept, when I was watching the Quad this season, and the young men were being hazed, for some reason, I processed the hazing totally different than I had before. And I don't know if that was by design, like the writers intended you to experience it that way, or if my consciousness just shifted. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I'm 45. I'm probably 50. I was born in 1971. So I'm not, even though I don't feel, it is. It's two German brothers. Aldi and Trader Joe, the store is, I understand it, like 50 years ago, they were the same company, or 100 years ago, not like yesterday. But, and they split off because one wanted to sell cigarettes and one I was so happy. I found an entire block in my neighborhood, Black-owned bakery. One wanted to sell cigarettes or alcohol and one didn't. And so they broke off and they have Aldi Nord and Aldi Sud. And one has become Trader Joe's and one is Aldi. But it's been a while since they split off. But even sometimes I can see like sometimes Aldi will have like when I buy like the jelly, I can't remember what it's called, but like it doesn't have like any sugar in it. It's just supposed to be like berries. And every once in a while it'll be at Aldi, but you can always find it at Trader Joe. But the bottle is exactly the same. It's got like a silver rim. It's like a short little bottle. Like it looks like the same product. It has a different name. But I don't know if their suppliers are the same. I don't know what but I did Google it and I've read several articles. I just, but, and yeah, I don't even want to, but I mean, that's like, that's where I get most of my, so yeah, I'm gonna start reorienting and also invite you to, I don't know if Black and Sexy TV still does it. Whole Foods and Fairway. What? Black real estate office and restaurant. Yeah, my insurance man used to be Black. And I'm going to shout him out. Now, I don't deal with him, but I'm going to shout him out because I was really impressed. I was really happy with his service. And I really wish I could do business with him. But I'm in Michigan and he's in Mississippi. And I kept my car Mississippi as long as I could. And then God said it's a wrap. But okay, that's the assignment. Let's start working on that and spreading the good news and gathering resources. Today is the best day ever, and we really truly could have been anywhere in the world. And it's not an accident that we are here together, and I'm really grateful that you are here with me, live or on the playback. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of that other good stuff. Bye, fam. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. I wish I could play in the background. I need like a background singer so they can sing that. Love your newsfeed, sister. Thank you for sharing you. Thank you for being here. So they can sing that while I say, peace. Be you. Can you hear it? Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace. Maybe I'll see y'all on a live someplace tonight because I'm about to